Hello, I'm Stephen.
And I'm Smokey.
And we're the HOM Movie Podcast.
We are.
And to the Weekly Geek Speak, we're sending a message.
Sending a little message.
Congratulations to the lads.
Congratulations to them.
For 100 shows of Weekly Geek and Humour.
So-called humour.
Well done to Andrew, Scott and Steve.
Well done. And a raised Galahad to many more.
Thanks for being our pod pals.
Hello, and welcome to Weekly Geek Speak. I am Andrew.
I would be Scott.
And I'm Steve.
We are bringing you this podcast from episode 1000 in the future, casting it back to episode 100.
I miss my body.
I miss my soul.
I miss my words.
Some things haven't
Some
changed. I don't know why. I've become more reserved and outspoken.
Who thought it'd be badgers that would have took over the
Badgers.
world?
Yeah.
We were all scared of aliens, zombies, the
Squids.
machines, squids, of
Spiders,
course.
ants.
Spiders. People made the joke about ant overloads. And then the badger, just calmly, when they grew thumbs, it was over.
So we are recording here from the burrow. We inherited their burrows. That's where we live now.
Yeah.
And their sets. That's what I call them.
Yeah.
But fortunately, iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, and Podcastland are still available to subscribe to. YouTube, Scott and Dan, when they manage to find an old Mega Drive in the debris, we'll play games for you.
Power is at a premium, so we can't play for more than 10 minutes before having to wind it back up.
Yeah. It's,
With our
some
power.
say it's a waste of power when you do that, but entertainment is needed.
I mean, you know what it is. You spent 5 hours looking for some preserves, and you've avoided all the badger guards, and you ache, and you're tired, and you're living in squalor. Watch us play Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
You can also follow us on Twitter at Weekly Geek Speak. Not many tweets on there anymore.
No.
Lots of people died.
The only people that follow us is those burning alive, screaming in the streets, aren't they?
You're all dead if you're listening
You
to
are.
this.
Yeah.
All of you.
In fact, this is more. It's less of an entertainment podcast covering geeky happenings and whatnot, and more of a SOS call. So if the last sort of
Anyone's
segments of humanity,
A bleak warning to you all.
yeah,
You are going to die. A horrible badger-faced death.
yeah.
Well,
But they're quite cute though in a way, aren't they?
At the moment, they are. Back episode 100. Do you remember back on episode 100 when we had some really poor ideas of way to start the show?
yeah.
I remember.
bizarre.
I've been meaning to ask actually. Do you know, seeing as we have obviously manipulated the time stream in order to project this back in time, like, shouldn't we do more with that than just provide a snappy opening for our 100th episode? Because I know we've regretted it for another 900 episodes now, but
I think the thing with that is the masturbation to provide the power to project this
Yeah.
back is proving tiring and
but that's
sore
like
right now.
that's like a renewable source. That's not going anywhere. That's practically infinite.
But between
level.
the three of us trying to beam the podcast back,
Entertainment,
what else?
pleasure, and power. Invest.
So one thing we've got over our badger overlords.
Yeah.
We all have to take 5 minutes in the pod. It's sometimes hard to stretch it out that
Yeah.
long.
It's true, actually, and friction burns.
Yeah.
They don't have many, like lotion ran out years ago.
Oh yeah, and Vaseline.
Tears.
Badgers, Vaseline gets all over the fur, so that's the first thing they got rid of.
Yeah.
That and the government. Was the first things to go, wasn't it?
It was. So I guess casting back to this time, we should really pretend everything's all right and
Oh, we don't want to alarm
No.
people.
get on with what we normally do.
I would just say, keep those shelters packed,
And we'd like to
stocked
say-
up.
Big hello to all our regular listeners.
Yeah.
Popular Outcast, he never achieved his 365.
What
'cause
happened to him was horrific.
Yeah, ears.
He was one of my favourites. He was so talented,
The-
and I still get visions of that episode when they caught him.
And the horrible irony with the HOM podcast that Smokey was smoking.
Yeah.
The smoking husk.
I bet he didn't appreciate the irony in the moment.
No.
But in retrospect, if he'd survived...
He's a lovely guy, I'm sure he can... If he was alive now, he would laugh.
Yeah, he struck me as a Tyler Wood.
And Beck's arbitrary genius baking weapons against the Badger overlords because we'd heard that
In
patriotism
retrospect,
killed them.
in retrospect, a silly idea, but it did...
Badgers
It was
love
still
cookies.
spirits.
The carrot cake shotgun, that worked well.
Yeah.
But the cookie discus thrower...
It's because it was more of a
Wazzing
shotgun.
them at Badgers
It was
just
the
didn't
velocity of that shotgun more than what powered it.
Yeah.
If she'd have gone for more...
Who knew that cream cheese could make such a good
I don't know.
icing and gunpowder?
I don't know. But Instagram was hilarious during those first few days of the event.
Yes.
I miss my family.
Yeah.
I miss my friends.
What? I'm your friend.
Yes, but you are just a head in a jar.
But I kept everything that people liked about me.
And Steve
breathing.
is in the case of Data from Star Trek The Next Generation.
I miss my body. It was like a beanbag with a shirt on.
Yeah, you complained about that body.
I know, and I miss it. I miss
Look
that
at you now.
lumpy meh. It was like a duvet. A lovable duvet.
Well, as you can tell, we are going for an extra 900 episodes from the point you're listening,
Yeah.
so do carry on, do subscribe on iTunes,
It's not all bad.
Spreecast, podcast, and so forth. We used to start this thing with an open forum.
For room.
Forum. Open for room. I think that must
Open the room when
Open-
we used
yeah.
to
Open it
we
up.
used to
Open it
enter.
discussion.
Yeah.
Open for room.
For room. Problem is when the Badgers took over, they made us adopt their new language.
Yeah,
of
so
Badgerness.
we might be a bit sketchy with words.
Yeah.
Steve always had this problem, but it
have.
came to catch now. And
If anything, Steve was ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
what hurt worse though for me is when the Badgers legalised point ratings in scores. You know that the 8.34. We're not allowed to give straight numbers now on film.
They're oddly, one minute they're quite malicious, and the other times they're quite weirdly succinct with their policies. You're trying to think like a Badger though. You can't.
No.
Who'd have
It's
thought
not.
this whole thing? Be careful because this is how it started. Nicki Minaj. We
yeah,
can't tell you
yeah.
why. That's one of
Yeah.
the legal
Yeah.
things in here. We can't
Yeah.
tell you why. Just watch that.
Just
that
be careful.
evil woman.
Just be careful. And May 7th, 2017. Just make sure you're not in the streets.
Why is that when Batman vs Superman comes out?
No, that's the year before. Do you remember it was the first great
It was
hurrah?
awful though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
After all that,
All that build-up. How many episodes did we talk
A lot
about
of people
it?
said it were meh, but I still think it's a good film.
Yeah.
But the
It's
Green, you said that about Green Lantern all the way back.
No,
in the first Green Lantern.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't. No.
And Batman, it was terrible.
Well,
All those arguments about Man of Steel we had actually turned out that it was, by its very molecular structure, the worst superhero film ever made. We just didn't realise.
Yeah.
These people were right.
God.
I did not know that would motivate the Badgers. I still defend it. I still think it's
No.
good. I think Ernest is not a bad.
You're
film.
breaking about
You
9
can't-
laws saying these things.
You are.
They've not found me for years. What was that noise?
What?
The first person we're going to is Steve.
Is it me?
It's you.
Oh, okay. So I found out some random news from yesteryear, and I found out that the world Theodore Seuss Geisel, better known as Dr. Seuss, legendary children's book author. You may remember him if you're still listening. You may still learn about him in schools. Among one of his many creative feats is a fairly unknown, fairly scandalous one. In 1939, now we're casting our minds way back, when he left Vanguard for Random House Publishing, he had one condition for his new publisher, that they'd let him do an adult book first. And the first result apparently was The Seven Lady Godivas, The True Facts Concerning History's Barest Family, which tells the story of nudist sisters.
Can I predict? Does it go? The bricks with dicks went tick.
The bricks.
The bricks with dicks went tick. The clocks with dongs went bong.
But does that make sense?
It makes all the sense.
They rhyme, which is important.
Which tells the story of seven sisters who, after their father's death, pledged not to wed until each of them was brought to the light of the world some new and worthy horse truth of benefit to man.
horse truth.
Yeah.
What's the nudists?
Yeah, it's a beautiful story of love, honour and scientific achievement that has too long been gathering dust in the archives. History has treated no name so shabbily as it has the name of Godiva. Today Lady Godiva brings to mind a shameful picture, a big, blonde nude trotting around town on a horse. In the background of this picture there's always a peeping Tom, an illicit snooper with questionable intentions. The author feels the time has come to speak. There was not one but 7 Lady Godivas, and their nakedness actually was not a thing of shame. So far as Peeping Tom is concerned, he never really peeped. Peeping was merely the old family name, and Tom and his 6 brothers bore it with pride. A beautiful story of love, honour and scientific achievement has too long been gathering dust. Dr. Seuss, Coventry, 1939.
What was brilliant about that, people at home who will not know, he was holding his phone as he was reading that, but periodically he'd just move on his hands to make a gesture, and at one bit he was like hot blonde, and then he cupped his hand and the eye almost went, then later on he did an OK sign. It was nice. That's the way to read it.
And there's the picture of the 7 Lady Godivas.
Oh, she's got a...
Oh, she's curvy.
So I just thought I would bring that as a. I didn't realise this existed. Dr. Seuss wrote an adult book.
Oh.
Thought it'd be a nice, strange little intro.
They don't have all the weird sort of pushed back nose faces.
No, they're just.
What's she doing? She's
I
having a
don't
poo.
know. She's having a poo outside of a horse shed.
Okay.
Gotta go somewhere.
So I'll
Gotta
tweet
go.
the link that I found. But I thought I'd bring that
What-
because what's that one doing? That one's riding underneath a horse on a
Wow,
wheeled
look
car.
No.
This horse gets
Hanging
a lot
out.
of action.
It does, doesn't it? And I thought, because I didn't know that existed, and he's a well-renowned children's author, or was back in the day, I thought I'd bring that and just discuss that and say, is there any authors you know and love that you'd like to see or read an adult book by, maybe?
I know-
So somebody who writes
I
one
think-
genre of film,
Yeah.
or
Well-
sort of maybe a comic book where an author really writes about superheroes.
I know
you'd like to-
Roald Dahl did, didn't he? He's done a lot of short, twisted
A lot of short,
novellas
dark
and,
tales.
Yeah.
I think there should be a spin on George's Marvellous Medicine where he's
Not poisoning his
He's not
grandma.
poisoning his grandma. It's like he's an older George and he's finding the right shaped object to put up his wife's bum. So he goes into the kitchen, can't find anything.
Yeah.
Goes into the shed, puts a gerbil up there, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was an old lady who swallowed.
James and the Giant Peach, and it's just
Yeah.
a woman's backside.
Big bum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
twats.
Twats. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I just found it strange that was his in order to move publishing house, which is the one that launched him into the world and created who he was. And Random House is still going really strong today and released so many cool books that he went, yeah, but first, can I write an adult book?
The Minge That Stole Christmas. It's about his divorce.
The cat with the twat.
The cat with the twat.
Well, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't have much to remark upon.
No, I just thought it'd
it's
be one of
interesting.
those. I don't know what discussion it will lead to, but I found it fascinating and thought, wow, okay,
How bizarre.
yeah.
It's moments like these that take your mind off the horrific events of
Yeah.
the last 5 years.
Yeah,
But,
Who'd have thought a badger colour would be the other way around?
I
yeah.
know.
The badger were colour, yes.
All
I mean-
along.
And now at that point, we would have really benefited from some of Dr. Zeus's
Yeah,
steamy.
But now all
The
art's
Rotterdam.
banned and burnt.
I know. We
Keep
need to
on
burn
somewhere.
that now quickly. Throw it in the incinerator.
Miss the days of art.
So yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Scott, what's your open forum? Open forum.
Open for room.
Got to
We
keep this
talk
thing up.
a lot about video games, or we did,
Mm-hmm.
work when they existed and didn't need to be powered by handheld
Cranks and masturbation.
cranks and kinetic energy. But we never really talked about not board games necessarily, but for lack of a better phrase, board games.
Boring ones.
No,
Ones that you don't.
no. There used to be a game called a board game
All right.
because you'd lay it out, but it'd have like a board that you'd
Ah.
have counters on and cards and magic and
You know, like
Wizardry.
when you go to the underground lairs and you trade children's teeth on
Yeah.
but they throw them out on that big square of plastic and
Yeah.
you've got to count them, and it's kind of a play on that.
Yeah.
So they
Except
land
do
on
a
what they're
diff-
going to trade you.
yeah, it's what that
Ah.
used to be. But we used to play for fun instead of cattle.
I'd say I have a really funny story about smashing some children's teeth out, which I will tell you after we finish.
Oh, I think I know this one. Yeah. It's good. But I wondered what your experiences were, because it got me thinking, because you talked to... I'm going back years now, but for the Yorkshire Cosplay one, you talked to Patriot Games.
Great for board games. Yeah.
I always I used to like watching... sorry, my tenses are all over the place. I used to love watching Tabletop with Will Wheaton, where we'd play with celebrity guests. But I had a weird run of playing games of that ilk, like King of Tokyo and Munchkin and various others, and I quite enjoyed. I played one, I can't remember what it's called, but you have babies, famous babies from history, like you'll have Hitler baby and like a Mussolini baby and stuff, and you have to like pass them around and stuff and build your sort of orphanage. I can't remember what it's called. I want to just say Evil Babies. It's something simpler. Just games like that I really kind of enjoy, but I never think to buy because they're quite expensive, and you take a punt, don't you?
Yeah.
You have to be introduced to them all. So is there any games you've played or are familiar with or intrigued by of that ilk? Even if it's something like Warhammer or other.
Well, as I said the other week, listen back. Episode 98, I believe. I played Settlers of Catan. That was interesting. I really wanted Trivial Pursuit, and my dad managed to find one in a charity box, and when we got it, realised it was from 1983.
Wow!
So some of the questions were a little dated. But yeah, I'd love to play some kind of Magic the Gathering kind of game. I'd love to play Pokemon cards properly, like with the full decks and things, and just to have someone go through it with me. I know Dan from...
you can get download an app from the online trading game website that I used to do, and it'll just talk you through the game. That's how I learned. And it's you get free packets and stuff, and go about your business.
So you know how to play the game with the cards now?
Yeah.
Oh, you should play with me.
But the game would show you quite quicker than I could tell you, and then we could play. If you want. Do you have some?
Today, I still have Pokemon cards in the future.
Yeah. They're still going. How many? What?
I know it's the one thing Badgers took to, actually, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But most Japanese culture they seem to embrace. Weirdly.
Like Lolita fashion and cosplay are still strong with badges and dresses. Badgercon.
Oh, did you go?
Neon lights.
Did you go to that Badgertron? It turned out to be a deadly trap to kill most of the rest of the geeks, but fortunately, I just didn't go. So it's fine. Because Andrew still insists I don't meet anyone, which is ironic. Because who's there to meet? I mean, we're one of like 8 people left.
I like that Fast and Furious is still going.
Yeah,
it never stops. They when they cryogenically froze Vin Diesel to never age.
I like that guy.
Brilliant.
That Badger they replaced Paul Walker with. What's it called?
I think it was called...
No, Z something. I don't know, it doesn't matter.
Board games. Do you think they're getting fed up of this farce that we're carrying on?
What farce?
Oh.
Andrew has these moments.
This farce about games...
Andrew has these moments
board
now
games
where he likes to think that we're not where we are.
I know what he's saying. I mean, we're probably freaking them out because in the past it'll sound like some weird skit that's gone too far. But like, so let's pretend that none of the event has happened, and we'll just pretend like everything's fine. It's 2015. Facebook and kittens and Britain's Got Talent and One Direction and Fast.
Oh, Zayn. Zayn's left.
Leaving.
That was around that time, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the highlight.
Before Harry Styles ate the Irish one.
We're pretending we're in the past.
Oh shit!
They don't know.
Sorry, Harry Styles didn't eat anyone.
No, he definitely isn't revealed to be anything.
He's still brilliant.
He's not revealed to be anything sinister.
Trust him.
They're brilliant.
Save that.
Yeah.
We're in 2015, guys.
I know.
I think Steve could probably tell you more about this one, but one of the most popular Kickstarter campaigns ever was funded, and it was Exploding Kittens by the Oatmeal, wasn't it? Which is a great card game. And Steve, you should be receiving it once it's finished.
I should, June, I think. I believe. I'm not, if I'm honest, I'm not 100% sure of the premise. I just kept seeing the things he was tweeting out and all the different cards with the spells and things, and I think it is just essentially you pass around all the different cards with things on, and then if you get the exploding kitten, you lose. But there's tons of
But you
ways
can
to
wait
block
to
that
buff
and
that
stop
and-
that and
yeah,
buff
and
that
stuff.
out, and it just. I didn't really read much about it. So when I need this in my life, and jumped on Kickstarter. It's funny, but yeah, it does sound incredible, and I'm looking forward to playing it. Maybe we could do a special section on the podcast if it comes.
Yeah, I'd like to play
That'd
that.
be good.
Maybe a
We
YouTube
could do a
video
little
or something,
section, yeah, play that on YouTube. But in terms of playing games, I've always had Space Crusade, and I've always wanted to dig that out and play that again. I've still got that at home because I don't want to get rid of it. I've painted all the figures, and I want to. I spent hours playing that. And I still love it. But yeah,
I want a bit of a game now.
let's do that.
We to pull together some money, walk into Patriot Games and buy something silly and play it.
Sounds good,
Needs to
but
happen.
there's something coming.
What?
It's coming. We've got to leave now.
What?
We've got to
No.
leave now.
You've got to carry
Got to
on.
go. I'm gone. I'm gone.
No, Andrew!
Last week we kind of got together and recorded this intro from the future about our 100th episode, and then we recorded some other stuff around it. We planned to talk to Mark, and then all of a sudden in the week between, every trailer dropped and all this news dropped. And it was kind of lucky, really, that we didn't put out, as we usually do, an outdated episode with no reference to anything relative at all. And actually, we were meeting again. So today, we will be talking Super Mario Brothers, but next week, and we will be talking to Mark, but next week. But this week, we have shit tons to get through.
Yeah.
So let's start. Let's not mess around anymore.
What are we starting with?
I don't know.
even
Starting
know.
with
What
the-
are we starting with?
Steve, what time is it?
It's time for this week. The Geeks have spoken.
Way too early. Try again.
Whoa there!
Ah.
It's time for news.
Oh, right. Well, everyone.
I thought he actually had something exciting. He had some tweets that would lead into the news.
No,
and
that
he was being
would've-
clever, but he was just
No.
being a
No.
silly bum.
That would have taken
Being a silly
preparation.
bum. Yeah, I didn't do any preparation
No.
today at all.
No.
He's been slaving away.
None. I thought because we were doing trailer trash, and obviously later on we're going to be talking Avengers, I thought I'd theme the news around all the hype and what we're going to be talking about.
Hype and
save the other news for next week. So the Star Wars trailer obviously dropped, and it generated 38.1 million views in 24 hours,
Is that a lot?
topping. I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And topping the 30 million for Batman and Superman,
Who's counting?
which it did top. However, the Batman Superman trailer leaked the day before, so
Yeah.
whether that took anything off
It
it,
would have.
I don't know.
Probably about, I don't know, 0.9 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just topped it.
So, skate Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously
We'll get onto that later, that argument.
we will be.
Just saw to happen.
Yeah. Obviously, the Star Wars conference happened, and Gareth Edwards has said that the spin-off Rogue One is going to revolve around a band of resistance fighters who unite for a daring mission to steal the Death Star plans and bring new hope to the galaxy. Because it's going to be a heist movie, there's speculation that Boba Fett will appear, as it's a gang of sort of freedom fighters and bounty hunters. So
That would be cool. I always was sold on the idea of a Boba Fett spin-off.
Yeah.
but I don't want to know too much about him, to be honest.
Yeah.
'Cause it's kind of cool being mysterious. I hated seeing little kid Boba in
Yeah.
the prequels. But that's probably a great way to have your cake and eat it. And I'd buy that. I'd get into that.
I'd love to see that. I liked that kind of side with all the bounty hunters and things, and that's the side of Star Wars we perhaps didn't see as much as we wanted to of in the original ones, and I ignore anything else. However, on this point, I will say that last year you brought the VHS versions
Yes.
of all the proper how Star Wars should have been seen.
Untouched.
However, Steve, you're claiming a lot on your Twitter and things that you're a huge Star Wars fan and you can't wait for this movie, and this is a movie you can't wait for.
Okay.
However, I can't take you as a serious Star Wars fan if you haven't seen the prequels, because they are canon.
Yeah.
They are Star Wars. So
Yeah,
what we're
yeah.
going to do, just like we did last year, is we're going to sit through
Oh, okay.
each of them throughout this year, running up to the big one. We're going to watch
Sweet.
the shit so you can actually appreciate
Yeah. Okay.
how
love
good
them.
Star Wars really is.
Alright.
Not that you need to, but
No, but all right.
You'll love it. Phantom Menace is the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen,
It'll make
seen
you-
that twice.
it'll make you want to rush
Yeah.
to 1999 Toys R Us and buy all the shit.
Yeah. We know now that the film is going to be set 30 years after the Battle on Endor, where the Ewoks dancing at the end of Jedi.
We know that anyway.
Yeah, but I think it's all sort of set in stone now. They had this big thing, and all these sort of it might be true. It probably is. They set
I
everything
saw
in stone.
Harrison Ford's face. They didn't need to tell me anything.
Yeah.
If anything, 30 years doesn't seem enough.
The release date's going to be December 18th this year. It's the first Star Wars movie not to be released in May, which is an interesting decision. But I think they've had a lot of setbacks with a couple of accidents, a couple of script problems. They had to delay the filming.
Well, like Lord of the Rings and stuff, sort of banked on the sort of December release date. It's very viable.
They've made
slot.
a little hole. Haven't they, there?
And it's Star Wars. It could be. They could drop it at a whim tomorrow without marketing, and people would siege upon a cinema. So whenever,
Yeah, definitely.
it'll be mental.
It's been filmed on 35mm cameras, although they did say there have been IMAX cameras as well. So that's quite an interesting decision. So we know we're going to get an IMAX version.
Yeah.
3D, don't know.
I should
Well,
probably
I would
think so.
imagine.
I took
I'd
it as
say-
granted.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also been announced that Episode 8 is going to be released in May 2017, directed and written by Rian Johnson, who did Looper and Breaking Bad. So we shall see.
Did he do Brick as well?
I'm not sure.
I think he's the guy who did
Possibly.
Brick.
So in other news, recently we've had the picture of Jared Leto after millions of teasers. Here's him having his hair cut, here's him with bleached hair, here's him slightly blurred, blah 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 blah.
Here's him eating a sandwich.
Here's him eating a sandwich, here's him with a camera,
He's
albeit on the
finished
wrong side.
Yeah, he's finished the sandwich. He's got
Yeah.
crumbs around his mouth.
It's the most boring Instagram.
Someone's dabbing it with a napkin.
Hashtag day in the life of Jared. We finally got the picture of the Joker everyone's been waiting for after numerous teasers. The metal teeth, the manic grin, the purple glove, the iconic green hair, and topless covered in tattoos. Thoughts?
Well, it's not been greatly received by the internet.
No.
How?
Really?
And I, to
The
be honest,
internet's not like that.
initially I saw it and went, that looks a bit like a fan picture being thrown together. It did look very photoshopped and things. So I was a bit like, really? I don't really like the idea of an emo-esque Joker. However, I've become quite good now at like going, that's just one tiny picture snippet of him doing a silly pose.
Exactly.
I don't particularly like the look of that image, but I like some of the things contained within the image. I think his build is right. He's kind of manic. I know he's doing a Home Alone face and things, and that's been joked about.
Yeah.
I know I don't know how I feel about tattoos. I'd rather he had scars, personally, but I'm happy to go with it. I know if they're going for a well-established Gotham world, which has been existing for many years, and we're joining it at this point, he will have gone that far. He will be that weird. He maybe... I don't know, there's some things that I don't know, maybe it's because he looks a bit more like a gangster thuggy kind of thing as opposed to a crazed loony. He looks both, you know, he looks like a more real version, you could say.
Yeah.
They had to do it different, and I think a lot of people who are not comic book fans, when I've been talking, because this is all I do, I go up to people and talk to them about comics because it's the only way I can socialise, and they're like, "Boy, it won't be Heath Ledger," and I know he won't beat Heath Ledger's Joker if you're going to do Heath Ledger's Joker. But
No
you've
one's
got to
going to
trust
beat
it.
Heath Ledger's Joker.
No,
I don't
no.
want to see Heath Ledger's Joker again.
Again, no.
No one's going to top it.
But
I want to see something else.
This Joker actually reminded me of, you know, that graphic novel that came out after Heath Ledger's Joker, which was supposed to be quote unquote about
the Brian
he
Azzarello
seemed
Leap
to-
of Asia one.
Yeah, he looked a bit like that kind of Joker, in a sense. If you read the comics, some of the other ones that aren't your straight cut, your Dini ones, which are normally how Batman is quote unquote supposed to look and all that, some of the alternate takes on them, I think he looked quite spot on for that. So I kind of had very mixed feelings, but my initial like flinch away is taken with a huge pinch of salt. I want to hear what Scott thinks, though.
I'm surprised there was such a negative reaction, because when I saw it drop late last night, I was well into it. I thought it looked awesome. I expected him to be covered in tats, because they're going for a Dark Knight Returns Joker, and in a lot of other Frank Miller's work, he's these top-lit shots of like Joker with tattoos and stuff, and it's a way of doing it a bit differently. And I like them all. The only one I don't like is Damaged on his forehead, because that's what that fine line between crazy tats and emo is crossed with that one, I think. But my only criteria was he has to be crazy, terrifying, and different. He's all those things. So no complaints to me. And you're just seeing a single image of Jared Leto doing the Killing Joke pose for the Joker's 75th anniversary, and to get some publicity. You've not seen any of his mannerisms, what he's going to bring to it, how he acts. He's not going to walk around topless looking like Wiz Khalifa. So I think it's grossly unfair to judge it, because I personally think it looks great. And yes, I know, like, a lot of like rap and grunge stars, he looks a bit Marilyn Manson-esque and stuff. But the Joker would just like pervert.
He's a skinny white guy. He's
gonna,
painted white. He's going to look like Marilyn Manson in some way.
You will see him topless in, I bet, one scene where
Just
he's
to show
probably creepily working out.
Or he's sat. I still think I get this impression that he's going to be organising things about the Suicide Squad from inside a prison cell. So I can imagine him sat in there topless. And you know, the one thing that I think might have helped this picture is if he had his mouth shut and just had a grin, and I think people might have felt different about it. I don't know. I think it is, and everyone's running off an initial reaction. I don't want a Heath Ledger's Joker. There is this childhood part of me that loved the animated series that wants to see a proper Joker in a suit. I might get that with him, though. I don't know. He has the glove, you know. But, I don't think he's going to be Michael Jacksoning around with that glove. I think people are reading far too much into what they're making a preconception of who this guy is.
It's I know, one picture everyone loses their minds, but
nice.
Yeah, everyone loses their minds.
It is odd though. I mean, I saw it this morning on my phone and went, okay, it looks pretty terrifying. And when I saw it later on the bigger computer screen, went, because the build-ups have all been quite grainy and quite gritty and quite sort of filtered and Instagrammy, and the last one, even with the camera, was kind of like dark and gritty, and then this one's suddenly bright and overly photoshopped and kind of whoa, okay. So it just seems to have suddenly taken this different turn, which I guess is what they wanted, but yeah.
But in terms of theatrically released Jokers, we've had Cesar Romero, we've had Jack Nicholson, we've had Mark Hamill with the Mask of the Phantasm Batman animated film, and we've had Heath Ledger. This is the fifth one.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the last one you're going to see, people.
It's true.
He won't be the one by a long shot. And you want them all to be different, knowing that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And it's different from all the rest, markedly. Good. As long as he acts like the Joker, brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
So, just, there's a weird just distrust of DC that I've picked up on the last month or so. And it needs to earn that, but I'm obnoxiously confident. Okay. Obnoxiously so. So it's good. Chill out.
The great question that Andrew Horn put on our website as a blog, is Suicide Squad more exciting than Batman vs Superman? I think it can be. I think it's being able to do it by itself. That might be. You'll always have the anti-Zack Snyder's Marvelites who will always play down Batman vs Superman. I think with Suicide Squad they can just have a bit more free reign, and I think it is going to be exciting, and I think this is fine. Just go with
all the ingredients to be amazing.
Definitely.
It's up to them.
Yep. Brian Azzarello took to the stage at C2E2, the comic conference, to announce that he's been working with Frank Miller on The Dark Knight Rises 3, The Master Race, and it's in the works. They're going to release the third.
I know, I was telling Andrew this outside. It sounds vaguely racist. I don't like Dark Knight Strikes Again, which is the second one, so I don't particularly care, but I will read it, and I do like Brian Azzarello. That's not to say I don't like Frank Miller. I just think at some point an alien took over his body and he became a crackpot.
But that's the outside that worries me a bit, because that Holy Terror thing that he wrote,
that's what I mean.
And he has gone a bit well, I don't want to call him racist or anything, but he's got weird political views that he puts across in his comics.
Right.
And they're a bit odd, and I don't want to see that brought into Batman. And the very title sends chills up my spine that that's what he wants to do. But Brian Azzarello on board, you kind of hope that it grounds, because he's a great artist, he's a great writer, and but he's very good, basically, is what I'm saying. So I don't know, I will read it. I think I'm the same as Scott for that one.
There was an interesting quote at the end of the interview where he was like, Batman's one of my favourite characters and in most interesting properties. It was difficult to do the second one. I'm not sure where we're going to go with it, but hell, we'll try our best. It sounds a bit like even he's going, we're doing it, but not quite sure what's going to happen.
It's a bit. It's exactly the way I feel about Star Wars Episode 7. Maybe not. Well, not quite, because I'm more excited for Star Wars. But like, you had perfection, you messed it up. So I don't care what you do now. You can only go up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, it Strikes Again's not that bad. It's just.
I'd say a better one is Jurassic World kind of situation.
Yeah,
You
probably.
fucked it up, and then I'm not.
This
all happens.
I'll watch it, and hopefully it's good. But either way, nothing changes.
Yeah. Either way, I've seen it. I've read it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I prefer the Jurassic World metaphor.
Yeah. Okay. And Marvel and Telltale. Telltale seem to be teaming up with everybody at the minute. After the huge
Not teaming up with me.
of Walking Dead. Oh well. Did you not get the email?
Does it mean one? That'd be amazing if the Weekly Geek speak Telltale gay.
Ah.
How do you berate Steve?
15 seconds to think of a response.
What has Steve said wrong?
Jump in with pedantry, go! They've just basically announced on Twitter, they've shown an image of the Marvel logo and the Telltale logo. It just says 2017, and exciting things are coming. I think with the success of the games and the way they're going, they've established this universe where you make decisions that follow the story, and you create the game and it remembers the saves throughout the episodes. I think the Marvel universe could be amazing for that. So it's a couple of years off, but consider me there.
Are people interested in the Marvel universe, though?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Kind of goes under the radar a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Nobody's talking about it. Anyway.
See what happens later. That's all the news I've got, unless you guys have got
Fillmore, Lord and Miller, as I will call them, like they're a law firm, are going to do an animated Spider-Man film,
Oh wow.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Is that going to have any relation on the new one, or just a...
No. That's why I found it weird.
Okay.
It sounds cool. I'm in.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that. That and Lego Batman might be like weird sleeper cool
I think they will be.
superhero hits.
Yeah.
Cool. So we get to, normally when you go to the cinema you sit down and then you really want to see the film, and we all really want to talk about Age of Ultron, but we got to go through the trailers first. So it's time to do a trailer trash.
Okay, the first car advert.
That one with there is a car advert which is on at the moment, which is so influenced by Spirited Away. It has the big junk monster coming after the car.
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
And it's like, oh god, you're just doing the creature from Spirited Away.
But quite literally, every other advert is a car one. And why do they target cinema goers? What?
No, I know.
I don't get it.
I don't know.
Well, it's about cinema goers in particular that sell cars.
Have you seen the Avengers car advert on TV? Where it starts off and you think it's the Avengers, and then it's suddenly, a car sponsored by Avengers.
No,
What?
I've seen the Gillette one, which like, we don't choose them. Look at all these cool razors.
Yeah.
You will never have one.
We're not making these. Oh, thank
We've made this really boring one.
I would buy one.
In the future.
Whereas, like, I want the Captain America one.
I'm going to get this out of the way before though we talk about Age of Ultron, because it's a cinema annoyance, an audience annoyance that I need to get off my chest.
Okay.
Now, normally when you go into a cinema and someone's talking, it's normally some annoying teenagers.
Yeah.
That's my perception of the cinema talker.
Yeah.
Annoyingly, the cinema chain makes you book tickets now. Even in a half-empty cinema, you have to sit somewhere. So we played by the rules and sat down. And this family came in. And I knew they were going to annoy me from the off, because one of the kids went, "Oh gosh, I've never seen a screen so large, Mother." And I was like, Andrew, just stop. And the mother was like, shh. Ironic.
Yeah.
Seeing as at every trailer, there's this awful George Clooney Disney World of Tomorrow film.
Oh, Tomorrowland.
And it looks shite. I'm sorry, if you think it looks brilliant, then you're wrong. Because it looks poo. It looks like Jupiter ascending. It looks that good. So I'm sat there, and then one of the kids, Mummy, can we go see that, Mummy? Oh, of course you can. I don't. Shut up. I don't care. Anyway, then Mad Max trailer comes on. Oh, that looks awful. Why am I getting your opinions in my ear? Why?
Yeah.
I'm not sitting there going, that were good. And then it just got, and then sweet individually wrapped sweets.
Oh God!
Why
boiled
have you
sweets.
brought those?
No.
They do,
And
and then
then-
they all drop them on the floor, one after the other.
And then I'm getting kicked at this point. The Minions movie trailer comes on, and Mum goes, "Oh, I love Minions!" And every time something happened, it wasn't like a laugh. It wasn't like a, as you would. Oh, that's funny. I'm finding that fun.
I get the joke!
Goodness.
And at that point, I just turned to my mate and went, "Can we move forward? Because I don't think I can put up with this." That loud, so they knew, and we just stepped over, and that was it. Unfortunately, 2 rows in front, you're fine, and no cinema Gestapos made me move. But why?
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 I know.
That was worse. I'd rather have some yob,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
than some posh,
Running
stupid family
commentary.
who think the world revolves around their little fucking bubble of shite. Anyway.
I think what makes that more annoying is with teenagers, you half expect it because you're like, oh, the kids being kids, and
Yeah,
they'll
they
probably
just-
grow out of it. Whereas with a family, like, that's going to be a circle of ignorance that goes on possibly forever.
I know they've got a nice 4 or 5 bedroom semi-detached house down somewhere
Yeah.
nice,
12
and they
seats
think
Range
everything's
Rover.
about them, and every opinion that she makes, everyone has to fucking listen to. I hope she fucking listens to this, because you're a fucking disgrace to
Did I
cinema.
tell you my family went to the cinema yesterday? To
Oh,
watch
right.
Age of Ultron? They were sat in a D14.
Do they love Minions?
She can't wait for me.
Anyway, enough of my rant. It's off my chest.
Wow.
Oh God. Anyway, so we're going to go through 4 trailers today now.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Any good ones?
Maybe we'll start with
We're doing Minions.
Minions. We're going to see Minions. You've got Sandra Bullock in. It's hilarious.
Your face when you do that as well, I think, is more terrifying than the laugh.
It's like a weird war cry.
Sorry.
I didn't know Sandra
Anyway.
Bullock was.
No, yeah, okay.
Scarlet something or other.
You know,
Anyway,
before we start recording, we went, we don't know how long this is going to be. There's a metric fuck ton of stuff. And we literally are finding every avenue to divert.
we haven't seen each other for a while.
I know, I've missed you.
I've not been allowed to talk to you outside. I've been trying to pry conversations out of Scott, and he won't let me.
Yeah, you were like, what do you think's a joke? I'm like, we're recording in a minute. Like, yeah, but what do you think?
But yeah, let's start with Jurassic World. I think it's the last trailer we'll get before it comes out. I think the main thing I took from this trailer was the T-Rex hybrid has hands and likes to pick things up all the time.
Yeah.
'Cause it just seems to be, I'll take that, and I'll take this, grab that, have a little feel.
Gonna eat
Bit handsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit
Handsy Rex.
Fancy Rex. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Did we watch it? What did we
Yeah, I
think?
watched it.
I kind of liked it. I mean, it looks a bit it's popcorn fluff. And but it looks like fun popcorn fluff.
Yeah.
It's kind of in.
It looks like the film that Steve wanted Jurassic Park to be when he first watched it and didn't like it.
I think that's it. But I also think the trailer, I made little notes because I had so much to do this morning. But I just written, I think I've seen the entire film now, thanks, probably wait for the DVD. That's what I put
That's
for
the
notes
problem
for
with that, I
There
think.
was far too much. The teasers were great, little snippets, and then it's like, here's the entire plot. It was like,
It's true.
Oh.
But they could have just done some really clever teasing of it.
Yeah.
But then it'd have been called underwhelming.
Yeah, but...
I know what we're leading up to. I know what we're leading up to. But yeah, I mean, it's the last trailer. I think it showed too much.
There's a lot away.
But then again, I don't think there's going to be much of a plot, really.
No.
Anyway, so
It's a revisit.
It looks like I'm getting an action-packed version of the first one, only with mutant dinosaurs
Yeah.
and friendly raptors. I'll watch that.
Yeah,
I'd watch that.
Definitely.
Chomp my popcorn merrily.
yeah, it's a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
So let's move away from it, and let's go to we were very grateful to find out that the thing does not look like a piece of poo.
Yeah.
And in fact, does look like quite good. It's the Fantastic Four trailer, which I personally think makes it look a lot more better. It doesn't look as gritty and grainy. There is a lot of interstellar-ness looking like that. But it's nice to see the characters and things. I don't think it's going to be great, personally, but it was interesting to see something a bit different. They're doing it completely different to the other one does. They're doing it with a straight face. That's very hard when you've got a giant rock monster.
Yeah, definitely.
But I thought it looks alright.
I really liked it. Because that first one, it was like corridors, hordes, mystery.
Which I liked. I liked that about it.
I love that it has corridors in it.
Yeah.
But I wanted a bit more in my second trailer. And there were still corridors.
There were.
Which is good.
Yeah.
But there's some superhero goodness in there, and it looks like it's taking a leaf out of the quote-unquote DC tone. Who will want stuff, but I think it might work for it. It looks vaguely interesting.
I think the cast, albeit almost unknown, they're kind of breaking. This is sort of some of their big breaks. They look quite good. The CGI looked pretty cool when they were all transforming, which they did towards the end when it was like the Human Torch and the thing. It looked pretty cool. I consider me there. I'll go and see it. I thought it looked really good. I like the sneak peek of Doctor Doom as well, just from the side, the little glance. Looked pretty cool.
It still could be tiny.
Yes,
I hope he is an
small.
itty bitty Doom.
Yeah.
I really wanted itty bitty Doom.
Definitely.
Itty bitty Doom.
Itty bitty Doom Doom.
An itty bitty bitty Doom.
Itty bitty Doom Doom.
Little bit of Doom Doom.
But no, it's definitely one I go to the cinema to see as opposed to Jurassic World. I think, I'm there.
I think I'll see both, but it's definitely shot up highly.
You can only watch one film every
I've
3
got
months.
I've got very little time, so it's like precious and money.
So I think it looks great. It's a lot better than I originally thought.
Yeah.
And I hated the first one.
Oh, the overly camp.
I hate them. They're too.
I mean, I'm expecting nothing from them. It's pure bonus comic book film, and if it's any way passable, I'll be fine. I can't get excited, but it looks watchable. Which always sounds a bit of like a dismissive thing, doesn't it?
No.
But not always. Sometimes watchable's good.
But we've teased the news and we've teased the trailer and we've always gone, we'll see what happens. So it's nice to get to watchable.
I can't be excited about everything.
I kind of feel a bit like I did about Amazing Spider-Man 2, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good going on there. There's got good visuals and things, but I don't know. It reeks of that, and I think Amazing Spider-Man we've established is a good enough film. It's just it's got to be fantastic to compete with Marvel now. It's got to do something a lot different to be up there with DC now. It's got you've got to really do something different, and it might, but it might just be not strong enough. But there we go. That's that. Let's move on. We got our second. And it's technically a teaser, but it meant more like a trailer. Another exciting Star Wars: The Force Awakens trailer teaser.
I mean,
yes,
it's Star Wars. We're getting new Star Wars, and every time you're reminded, that little child inside you has a little bit of girlish glee, and there's just stray shots and things that just get you super excited, like. The Star Destroyer.
Oh, that was my favourite bit. That was my favourite.
Millennium Falcon flying through it.
Luke quoting, and then you see a bit of him shadowy.
Yeah, you've got R2-D2 and the sort of the robot.
And he's clearly talking to the next generation of Jedi.
My helmet was melted by the end of it.
Yes, I was covered in goosebumps.
I mean, it is what it is. It's told us nothing still, which I like. They're not even particularly good teasers, objectively speaking, but we're just that psyched that you can't help but just be.
You just need to throw some shots in my face.
That's what I mean. That's all you need, because with that,
basically, that was going. You've seen the first one. The first teaser, this one has old cast members in it. But I did think, criticism time, it's not perfect, because I did think when Han and Chewie appear, it looks like a Saturday Night Live sketch.
Oh, that was my favourite bit.
No,
it was like, intake of breath when that happened. It was like
I
Chewie
do
were
know.
home. It was like
I mean, they've aged, so there's no way around it.
it's set 30 years,
But
so they're going to
Harrison Ford, I somehow have a weird disconnect between Harrison Ford now and Harrison Ford then. I almost, in my own mind, they're not the same person anymore.
And also, I'm sure he would have got a new wardrobe in 30
I
years.
don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure
Yeah, okay.
he would have bought a new jacket.
But
Maybe.
it's a scruffy looking nerd.
Chewie's not gone
it's
grey
like
either.
I know, but he was 103
Yeah, it's true.
already. He ages differently, so that's why. And did you know that the line that he says, Chewie, we're home, it's actually improvised. He has actually got Alzheimer's and he actually did think he was home.
And where does Han Solo live? Because he wasn't.
I'm home. He doesn't even know. Yeah.
He's getting off his ship, which is his home.
Yeah, and
So,
He's home.
last time he tried to find his way home, he crashed the plane, so...
Oh,
he survived his
he's alright.
Fine, they can make a joke as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. A million fanboys, all with massive smiles on their faces,
Yep.
got more sold on a film they were already incredibly sold on.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
I was all over it.
Testify.
Wasn't there something that the sand planet isn't Tatooine, or did I
I
miss
don't
something?
think it is. No, I think it's a different sun planet.
A different sun planet with only one geographical feature.
I know.
I just wish there was a planet in Star Wars that, like, I don't know, had more than one type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, it's the ice planet, it's the swamp planet, it's the forest planet, it's the...
Chocolate planet. No, I don't.
I mean, because I'm a bit of a...
Wonka 6.
I'm a bit poor, so I've only been on this planet today. But it's got a bit of all of that,
Yeah.
this
Oh,
planet.
yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for this, you don't want someone going, right, this is the map of Gastron 7. On Gastron 7 over here there's a nice little desert, but down here there's a lovely beach
forest.
and a forest. And you just want to go, well, this one has lots of bees. Let's go there.
But why can't it be... But the
This one rains
oh,
blood. No. Well,
I don't know.
you want your cake
it's
and
more-
you want to eat it.
It's
That's just
more
not-
of a witty observation of me being incredibly fatigued.
But then
Well-
again, Interstellar did look at this wave planet and look at this planet. What was the other
But
planet?
with that one,
the
they just
dry
saw a
ice planet.
small sort of microcosm of the
Right.
bigger planet.
Okay.
Whereas with Star Wars, which does the exact same thing, it's different. It's because in Star Wars,
this is going.
it's just because they call it like the forest moon. I think it's just literally because they call it the forest moon of Endor.
Yeah.
I assume they're all just got one
yeah.
geographical feature.
Anyway,
It's the ice planet Hoth.
let's do it. Let's get on to the big one in our view. It is a
Black Mass. I
Oh,
watched that.
I've already done
oh.
with
saving that for next week because that's so big.
Oh.
That's so big. We'll talk about it next week. Batman versus Superman: Dawn of the Planet of the Apes of the Justice.
working title.
Yeah.
They're bringing the characters crossing over universe. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was good. I liked it. I kind of got the criticisms. First of all, I think the main thing was it was too long. I would have cut down that Superman half a little bit. We've seen Superman. I want more Batman. But still, I think people are misjudging this. That Star Wars trailer came out. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then this. So we were a year off. I thought that was an amazing teaser to say we're a year off.
Thank you for your common sense and rational thought.
It's not going to show anything. They've not.
It's a teaser trailer.
It's a teaser.
It's been designed for two reasons: to tell you how it's going to follow on from Man of Steel, and to tease Batman. And that's exactly what it did brilliantly. It's not going to show you the end fight scene. It's not going to show you all the things.
All right, face puller. Let's go.
No,
Why are
I
you
just
calling that?
no, I'm not. The first time I watched it, I went, oh, completely underwhelmed. And I think it was that whole. I'd sat and watched that Star Wars trailer about 5 times. Play. Oh my god! And then that I watched once and went.
But why is that?
And I
What
left
did
it
you
a
want?
few days. I don't know. I don't know what I wanted because I'm not. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. Having not the whole Man of Steel, which we've closed the door on. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. I'm not in any way hyped up. I'm not in any way expecting anything. So I watched it and went, okay.
No, but
But
with
then I watched
Star
it
Wars,
again.
you're predisposed. We're returning
Yeah.
to a world with your tone you already love
Yeah,
and
yeah.
are ready to embrace.
But-
this is selling you on something.
Yeah. But then I've watched it again, and I watched it 3 times this morning, and I think seeing Affleck, he looks great. Batman looks great. I love when the spotlight comes on with the false guard on the Superman statue, and the tone of this one. Having seen all the Avengers, flash, crash, smashing, banging, bright colours, rah, this looks like the pages of a comic book. This is something completely different. So I saw it through different eyes a couple of days later, and actually, I'm okay. It sold me more. The first watch, I went, yeah, but actually, no, it does look like the pages of a comic book, and it, shot for shot, you can imagine reading the.
There was
panels
the
of
false
a comic.
god. I think it strikes a lot of the death of Superman. That whole thing, actually, because there's a lot of the statues and things and that. He was buried underneath one. That's what it reminded me of. I thought there was a lot of Watchmen feel. You definitely feel Zack Snyder in there, but I'd also like to point out people moaning about slow-mo shots in Zack Snyder film. Watch Age of Ultron. Every time something happens, you get a nice slow-mo shot.
No, but
so I don't get this criticism.
That's Marvel, you know.
Oh, it's okay. That's fine.
It's Marvel.
You know what you're getting with Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Just saying, you're not shout. I know people do shout joking things about lens flare with Abrams, but they're not tearing him to pieces about it. I think that I've seen Superman. I know what I'm getting for Superman. I like the direction they're taking in it, because how would we react to that? How would we react to the destruction of the city?
Yeah.
How would we react? All the complaints from the Man of Steel thing that we've covered, it seems to be addressing that now.
They're going to cover it.
What happened here? The tearing apart of society, of the loads of people going, well, he's a god, yay, and the other one's going, but so many people died. What's this going to happen to our world now? We've seen a threat that's bigger than ours, bigger than anything we've ever experienced, and we need to rely on him, but we don't want to rely on him because he's an alien. And then there's Batman in there going, oh, I'm an angry man.
What do you think to his voice? On that point,
you know what?
Awesome.
I think it's good, and he reminds me of good old school Batman from the comics from the 90s. He's big, he's jowly, he looks like the animated series Bruce Wayne with the kind of anger
he
face.
almost had the feel of Marlon Brando. A little note that he almost looked like Marlon Brando in The Godfather for that scene where he's just pausing. He's got that sort of jowly. And
I really got the impression that Batman's gone beyond being Batman now. It's not a Batman that we're used to seeing.
No.
He's not. He's gone. He might need pulling back to where he perhaps once was, to the fact that he is that annoyed that this has happened. He looked the very Alfred speaking of, this is what turns a good man. I don't know the direct quote of it.
Yeah, well, it's whole tease, isn't it? So it's given us so much to just speculate and pull from, like a good teaser should. It was a good teaser.
Yeah.
And it teases the epic face-off, which is what the film's about. It teases all the themes. Guarantees there'll be action, because it's a Zack Snyder film with Batman and Superman in it. There'll be tons of action. What do people want?
I don't know.
I wanted to see Batman and to make sure it looks good, and it looked fantastic. It was beautifully shot. Some of those, when Superman's holding up the rocket or whatever, it's fucking beautiful. You'd if someone unearthed that in 1,000 years' time, they'd be like, what's this god they used to pray to? It's divine thing. And Batman in suit, do you bleed? And then
that line in where he's
you will. That's the pure fucking jizz win. That is a jizz all over moment. That'll be quoted forever.
They said that the event of Batman taking on Superman is one of the biggest things in comics that you want to see. It is. I don't care if you can argue Civil War and all you want and things. Yeah, we want to see that too. But for years, Batman taking on Superman in comics is great. Because it should be misbalanced, but it's Batman. This is why Batman's brilliant. You know, he's a mortal who finds a way.
Yeah,
and that's why this film's exciting for me.
First of all, Superman don't fight to the death, so he always kind of holds back. Second of all, Batman is the most resourceful, sort of intelligent fighter on the planet, and he prepares for it. So it's basically an exercise in Batman trying to kick the fuck out of Superman, and Superman's kind of powerless because he can't just kill him. It's what people never get. They're like, why didn't you just heat vision him and he's dead? It's Superman.
Well,
he only kills when it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
And Batman doesn't kill, but Batman will destroy him.
So everything you've been talking about with the consequences are not dealt with in Man of Steel, it looks like they're getting dealt with.
It's
directly.
Yeah.
The whole thing is a direct response to what happens in Man of
Well,
Steel, even though it's not a sequel.
I was going to
to Man
say,
of
it's
Steel.
about to say it's not a direct sequel, is it? It's more of a
It's his own
Batman
film.
movie. It's his own film, but it will nod to it. It's not like a direct.
Which is exactly what you want it to do.
It's still got a massive
Looks
job to do,
amazing.
and it still could be terrible.
Oh yeah.
And Zack Snyder has done duds.
Yeah.
It might, and I'm fully expecting it to go exactly the same way as Man of Steel, and people to dispel it at the moment. I don't know why, it seems sad to me. I'm not on either side, honestly, people.
No.
I really am not. I don't care. I just think that this is quite an awesome thing to happen.
It is.
The DC and Marvel should exist to be alternatives to each other. They're not in competition. If any one of them does well, it helps the other.
Yeah.
They're a symbiotic sort of rivalry partnership. They're pure competition. They make different types
Yeah.
of films, even. I know they're both superhero films. They're completely different types of films. Why you'd want to be so weirdly spiteful about the other? You're just cutting your own nose off. If you don't like it, don't watch it. I, meanwhile, will watch both and love both, because both give me different aspects of the genre I love.
Yeah.
And yes, it doesn't have the ingrained trust that Marvel's built, but you haven't given it the chance to.
No. If people aren't willing to, then it's never going
And
to get
it'll-
off the ground.
It'll take one good film, and they're off to the races.
However, if you genuinely did watch that, thought Batman looked fat, and Superman looked a bit stupid, fine.
If you don't like it, or you think it looks dull, or you... Fine. That is a very valid opinion. If you tell me that's crap because Marvel this, that, the other, you're talking out of your backside.
It seems like a good time to go to opinions if we go to the people of
Please.
Twitter. We've
What
had a lot
time's
of
it?
opinions. It's time for this week. The Geeks have spoken. Simon Robertson at Say Yeah Flash was preempting the trailer and said it better be good. I need something to wash away the awfulness of that Jurassic World clip that was released.
I didn't see the clip.
No, I
but it
didn't.
said before that
Apparently
it
there was a
looked
Chris
terrible.
Chris Pratt clip.
And the dialogue was terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that was.
And Rex Everything at Rex Everything C3 said, "Don't be excited. The movie's sure to be underwhelming. Marvelites have made their mind up." We replied, and he said, "Marvelite or not, you know I speak the truth."
He's a big Marvelite,
Yeah.
In fact, he was very upfront about it.
Yeah.
I prefer Marvel. I'm not bothered. I like
so
that.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
But-
And let's be fair, if you didn't like Man of Steel and you don't like DC, you're probably not going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Phil Buckingham at Rob Zom Comics. Both trailers, the Superman and the Star Wars one, different in how much they gave away. Probably looking forward to Batman vs Superman more, but Star Wars was a better tease. Mario Savides, sorry if I've pronounced that wrong, at Mario Savides, Batman vs Superman wins hands down over the Star Wars trailer. James Wormsley on the Fantastic Four trailer at Artie Fuffkin said, "I'm rubbish at 3-word reviews, so I'm just going to say that Fantastic Four trailer was much better than the first. It looks pretty good. If anything, they showed a bit too much of the film. They could have held back a bit."
How many words was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
But people were so meh, I think they needed to give it a little bit more. So
I'm definitely more sold than I was, so it's done its job. But like, how much is too much? Because it is a fine line.
Simon Robertson at Say Yeah Flash watched them both and then said, "Oh well, I love the Star Wars one and the Batman vs Superman one was just a bit meh."
Fair enough.
Fair enough. James, on the Jurassic World one, it saved me the bother of going to see it because now I've seen the whole film. Yay!
Still,
And staying on Jurassic World, Luke Pietnik at Luke Pietnik, gang leader. I'm hoping they'll err on the side of sanity and keep it simple. That said, we don't want a pointless retread.
is that Jurassic World?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
it's going to be bombastic, stupid, out over the top.
It's different
Dynamite
enough
style.
in the fact
Yeah.
there's a new creature in Dominus Rex and raptors are on our side and
Yeah.
we've never had someone who's like trained and tries to work with the dinosaurs like Chris Pratt. It's different enough. It's different enough.
Low Hall of Good Paul at Y2 Stump Star Wars trailer. Is it December yet? Daniel Buckley at Uzal on Star Wars. Love it. Bex at Arbitrary Genius shared us the pictures from the Star Wars event that she went to on Facebook. Thank you for those. So the trailer was shown twice in IMAX. There was a panel and then a quiz at the end with Warwick Davis, which sounded awesome.
Oh,
Pictures look pretty cool, so thank you for sharing those with us.
Oh, cool.
Dave at Wilbro Jr. loved the crashes. The Star Destroyer at the end of the trailer with Han and Chewie is awesome. looked cool, and though Batman vs Superman looks cool, though I hate to admit it, Affleck looks cool in the Batsuit, both of them.
Why do you hate to admit it, though?
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, when I'm wrong, I'm comforted. Because I don't like being right, because I'm usually a cynical bastard.
So, Spider Guy at Blocky Wolf. Star Wars, freaking out when I saw it in a good way. Same with Batman Superman. The Real Alpha Brony at Alpha_Brony. Star Wars, don't hurt me.
So that fear that it could just be a pod race marathon.
Yeah. Thank you for all your interactions and all your comments and stuff. Appreciate them. Keep them coming in.
We did. I didn't mean to be horrible about it anyway. You're all lovely, and you're all entitled to your opinions, you little squirrel.
You call them scrotums?
I think I call them squirrel.
Squirrel scrotums.
You little squirrel scrotums. That's my poss.
Yeah, so Age of Ultron arrived after much excitement, loads of trailers, and then we finally arrived. Scott kind of felt over the trailers that there was so much being shown, yet so much being held back, and it finally came. I enjoyed it, but I will go to you guys first, because I'm fed up of hearing me speak.
I'm not fed up with hearing you speak.
That
was the scariest thing that's ever happened. Steve!
So, I watched it. Yeah. I thought it was really good. I went in again.
This is spoiler free, by the way, but there might be marginal spoilers because it's hard. I hope we don't do, and I'll try and edit them out, but there's just that pre-warning. We are talking Age of Ultron. If you don't want to know anything about it, do listen and jump forward.
No plot specifics.
No. Tons of action. I love the fact that it started and just threw you straight into the action.
There'll be one plot specific.
No, it's alright.
It does, though.
It's a start.
It's the opening
I guess
3 seconds of the movie.
That's fine.
And if you've seen the trailer...
You got to give a bit. It's a review.
You got to give some.
There's action at the end as well.
Yeah, there is. There's action in the middle, everyone, as well. Guess what? It was a great action film. I thought it looked really good. It launched into the brilliant action sequence. I love the way that it's sort of... Everything they've been sewing is kind of gradually coming together, and you've got this whole plan that we've discussed before on the podcast of all the movies coming out, and I don't know much about, so hearing you guys tell me about it, I'm now piecing together things and going, oh, that means that, and that bit, I wonder if they're doing this, and I'm questioning things that I didn't know about 6 months ago. So that to me was really important, because the first Avengers film, I was like, just a big shiny action film, that was quite nice. This one I was going, I wonder if is that picking out bits, so that was kind of nice for me this time round. Having heard you guys discuss things so much, and Mark discuss the comics and how it's all intertwined, I really like that. Yeah, I thought Ultron was really funny. Great character, the script was good, it kept the humour, kept the action. Yeah, I really liked it. Loved the setup, the armour was amazing. The fight sequences were good. There were some negative bits, but I'll let someone else.
On those points, let's go through. The action was great. I think this one was actually, normally I say you can just stick on one of these movies and it's fine, even though there's references and things in there. You don't need to know them, you can watch it. I actually thought with this one it was a lot more about developing people's storylines, and you did need to watch some of them before to actually get it. I know it's a sequel and things, but there was a lot of development in there, and you could tell you they were moving the chess pieces a little bit around the table to set up the next, but I honestly felt like it was setting things up.
Definitely.
I thought there was a lot of action. You look pained, Scott.
He
What's
does.
wrong with your face?
Really worried.
Like, my big criticism is it does none of those things.
Do you think?
No.
Oh, wow.
I really did.
Yeah.
I thought it did move things on, and it showed friction between some characters, and it shows that there are cracks forming, personally.
It didn't do it enough for me, but each their own.
I thought Ultron was an interesting angle on AI. It's almost like because I'd read that James Spader in an interview had said he's like a petulant child, and he was like, I've decided that these points are the ones I'm going to focus on and ignore the rest.
And that was his own voice as well. It's not been messed with or done. That's which I quite liked. It's just him.
Yeah, they did. He didn't put a voice on
No,
that. It was
voice.
good. I really enjoyed it. In fact, I was sat there expecting things because I had seen tweets and things, and I actually thought my criticism of the first Avengers film is It's a great film. They throw everyone together, but it is kind of a big spaff off to fire. We've got them all together. It's
Yeah,
great,
but-
and I don't like the Chitauri ending. I think it feels like an excuse to bash aliens' faces in, and they've retroactively kind of made it make more sense with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And it was always part of the plan, but at that point, it did feel a bit like, oh, we need a villain. Aliens. Whereas this, I kind of bought.
Yeah,
a bit
there's
more,
a lot more.
even though the villainry was, I think, as much as I liked Ultron, I didn't feel he was an Avengers worthy of adversary. I don't know what the word is.
Formidable.
Yeah, he wasn't as formidable as he perhaps could have been, and I thought 2 of the Avengers might have been able to deal with him. Not
Which do?
I don't know. I need to.
If you've already picked 2.
If I go, well, you'd have to have Thor in there because he went in his swimming pool. And,
Yeah.
The soak. There will be
an
one
Iron Man
for
because you always
specifically.
need to. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought that it was interesting what they did with Hulk's character, and I thought it was
I wasn't
interesting.
keen on that. No.
That's going into another area.
I don't know. I do think that the introduction of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver was really nice, and they just sort of slotted into this universe that's been built up. And it wasn't like, who are these? They worked. They were believable. They worked. It was good.
You're very quiet.
He is very quiet. He looks pained and quiet. And
I don't look pain.
I've never seen
you do, you
I've
look
never-
like-
you do. You look like
It's
you're
like
in
I'm
pain.
going, Marvel's better than DC.
And I've never seen you so
No,
quiet.
it's because I need
You're
the
just-
bathroom. Quite frankly, it's nothing to do with
Maybe
it.
he's actually
Yeah.
physically pain.
Oh no.
It's really good. It's a really good film, and I really enjoyed it. I came out really weirdly conflicted about it though, because it's definitely more ambitious and tries to be darker, and it's got a lot more sort of complexities to it than the first one, without doubt. But it has not quite the. It doesn't have the charm or the cohesiveness of the first one.
Really? Okay.
And then by the end, it felt like it was weirdly following its blueprint still, even though it had shaded bits in a bit more. And I felt like it either needed to be a more intimate sort of deconstruction of the Avengers, where they can have individual arcs, or introduce all these new characters. And it weirdly tried to juggle both, so it's like fit to burst this film. And I think it weirdly. Everyone's got an arc, which is good, but everyone's arc's so rushed and not earned. And in half the cases, I just don't understand why it's been thrown in. But half the arcs I don't feel has been touched on any other film. And I also felt like it didn't leave us in a position where it makes sense when I come back to watch Civil War. I don't think it does.
Really?
Remotely, no. I just didn't think they did it half as well as they could have. Ultron's really great. I loved how bonkers and quirky he was.
It was funnier than I thought he'd be as a character.
Oh, he was
There's lots of
hilarious.
witty one-liners and things which you don't normally get from sort of the villain.
And it's got a lot of Transformers-itis about it. There's action scenes galore, much more than the first one. Some of them are good. And I did like it. It is good, and I think it'll benefit better when I rewatch it again. But I don't know. I just felt like it was a bit more of a mess and a bit of. Everyone's inferring all these things onto it and making it. I wish it was the film everyone's telling me it is in my head, but I don't know. There's something lacking.
I went in expecting to come out feeling like that, honestly, and I actually really enjoyed it. In fact, I enjoyed it more than Guardians, which I felt a bit like, that's good, but it's a bit flowery, and this one felt a bit more everything, and I liked that for it. And I don't think it could have been done better. I'm not saying it's the best Marvel film. I'm just saying I thought it was very strong. I actually liked that it felt a little smaller, even though bigger at the same time. I don't know. But I do get the criticisms.
I don't know. Well. It could be because I watched the Avengers literally before it. That could tarnish it. It could be that I saw almost every action scene in a trailer. It could be that I'm too aware of what's coming next, because the first Avengers, we didn't know Phase 2. It was exciting, where are these going? Whereas I was sitting there all the time going, how's this leading to Civil War then? Maybe that tarnished it. But that's their fault then. Because they've done all those things. Well, they didn't make me watch Avengers first, immediately, but it's very good. it's a 7 when I felt I was walking into a 9. But I need to watch it again because it's either going to grow on me or I'm going to be able to articulate quite what it is. But I think it needed to pick a direction, and it tried to do both. And I think in doing so, it stopped. If it had picked either direction and committed, it'd have been great.
I can see where you're coming from. I don't know. Personally, I think it did it really well because somebody who's got on board with this, like I said, and gradually pieced things together. I felt it did it really well because I was looking out for these things. Now I'm aware of them and going, okay, so that's leading there. That's going to go there. That was referenced in that one, and it brought things together. But I think sometimes you need to be. Do you need the subtlety?
They don't have time to do it.
They've got to throw it all in, and
they had 2.5 hours.
Yeah, but they still covered a lot of ground. I thought in 2.5 hours.
Why did they have to tell us Vision were in it? Wouldn't that be a better film?
It would have been. Yeah,
wouldn't that have been a way better film?
I can see that
if we didn't know Vision were in it.
Because I
really
enjoyed it, but I get. Yeah,
wouldn't it have been just worlds better? That
I agree with that completely.
Because I'd seen the picture and then it was like, wow, it's that guy. Yeah. So my big gripe with it was Hawkeye, but that's by the by.
I actually liked that.
Oh no!
I liked that.
No, that was my biggest. I just didn't.
But he's got nothing. The guy has nothing.
I know.
And you don't like it when he's given something.
I just wasn't keen on that. I don't know, something about it.
He's got a character and a fully developed thing. He explains where he goes, where he's been.
I
explains who he is, what he does.
Part of it that I just.
I liked actually the fact that characters like Black Widow, him, and Hulk got some storyline to them.
Was it just me who felt incredibly let down by the Hulk during the entire film? I thought Bruce Banner great during the film, but the Hulkbuster fight was really disappointing.
I think we've been shown too much.
I think we'd seen all of it. I think we've literally seen all of it.
I enjoyed it, but we had in the trailer.
I was so underwhelmed by it, and that was kind of its big mid-light action.
Watching that suit transform, and it was like, I'd
seen that.
I've seen it. That's my issue with it.
I think I blocked my. I don't think I watched the trailer properly then because I was like, ooh. But yeah,
I'm coming across way too negative, but I genuinely enjoyed it. I genuinely think it's good, and I genuinely urge everyone to watch it, like I have to. And I genuinely am going to watch it 2 or 3 more times while it's at the cinema and own it on DVD and watch it forever for the rest of my life.
Next week.
But I came out a bit conflicted because it wasn't half as good as maybe I built it up too much. Maybe I had too much teased, but I don't think it. My base impressions watching it the first time, I don't think it's that great.
Do we think that's going to be a big issue then with all of them? If it's been teased too much, if we watch too many trailers and teasers, are we going to go in and come out underwhelmed by a lot of them? Because it is a shame how much they.
I just think the consensus though seems to be in that now we're waiting towards the Aegis point. I actually just want to throw in again. I thought it was absolutely fantastic and better than the first, personally. But that was just me. I just want to show that there is.
Yeah, no,
but I see that a lot. I think a lot of people. I mean, HOM got to us, and there was a lot of gripes. Another person said to me, "I'm not sure how I feel." It seems to be consensus, but for some reason, it seemed to tick my boxes quite well.
I thought it'd be a guaranteed top 2. I'd put it 5th, 4th, maybe.
I'd put it 3rd or 4th.
It's below Guardians, Iron Man, and Avengers.
I've got Guardians
but it's very good. But I think I'm just looking forward to Civil War. I think that's the film I wanted to watch when I sat down, but I had to watch this Ultron shit. Yeah. So it's definitely good. Yeah. Enjoyed it.
8 out of 10 for me.
You don't need me to praise it; everyone else will.
8 erring on a 9, but my couple of gripes. A couple of days later, it's a really strong 8. Teetering over into a 9, but yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, high 7, maybe an 8. I don't know. I really need to watch it. I almost want to revisit it. I almost wish I weren't recording this now. Because my first thought when I came out was I need to watch this again before I commit to any sort of opinion.
Well, here we are. We're conflicted on our first spoiler-free review. In about 3-4 weeks' time, we'll come again. We'll do a spoilerific review. Because
I'm seeing it again.
And we'll all be seeing it again.
Yeah.
And is it just me that thought their post-credits teaser was the laziest thing?
Yeah, that was poor.
I just
We already know. We knew all that.
We did know.
It tells you nothing.
I liked it.
I really liked it.
I want to take you again.
I do. Let's all go hand in hand.
I liked
skip
it.
Into it, watching it.
I honestly, I could could go on for days about
Do you think
its virtues. I just don't think it's perfect, and I
don't think it's perfect.
I think it's got it's cramped, fit to burst with goodies, but it's got its flaws jumping out of left, right, and centre at the same. It's like a toy box you can't shut.
Hasn't it always been the case though with Marvel? Though?
No, I think this one just tried too hard. Really do. Cut 2 characters or 2 arcs, or spice it up here and there. I think it'd have been worlds better. Ultron's not in the film that much. Should have been his.
It's Marvel for you, though.
Do you know what I mean?
Villains, you know.
But the first one, all that's true, but it powers through, and there's charm and excitement and interaction, and this goes for darker, and the interaction's it's not as funny and it's not as interesting. And
I thought
it's all this weird melodrama, this forced melodrama that's come out of nowhere.
No, I get that, but I think that the development of characters was good. I thought it did take them in different places, and some of them you might not have liked. I think that some of it was maybe crowbarred in, but I enjoyed it for a change.
They're all in a different place at the end than the beginning. That much is true. However, the place that you arrive at the beginning, I don't think so, and where they go through that, I don't think it's consistent with what I've seen in previous films. So yeah, they've all got arcs that set them up in. I saw chess pieces move, and they've got a plan, but I didn't like the journey of that.
I think they did it really well.
They did.
And the only one I've not seen is
Iron Man's a
3.
fucking prick in this.
He always has been a prick, though. I think that's good. I think that's the good direction to take Iron Man in.
He's building up to the cracks. He's building up to being a massive.
Right, it's the end of the show, and we are going to have like a mega mix outro next week with your other shout-outs. Thank you for everyone who sent shout-outs.
Yep, thank you kindly.
As you can tell, we've had a lot of stuff to get through, so thank you for all your comments on the news and so forth this week. We're going to finish on a bumpy goose, and this time we're lost.
Lost, okay. Any regional accents or things
do what you want.
About? Alright. Do I love? Lost. Helle Miter's dad was called Bob. Bob was a builder. Bob the Builder. Can he fix it? No, he can't. On this particular day, Bob had to build a wall in a road. Okay.
Well, it's dangerous.
He's building a wall in a road. Okay. It's easy Wile E. Coyote. He's going to paint a big doorway on it.
Roadrunners.
Helle was left with antiseptic. Antiseptic was a very old, scary woman. Helle called her witch. Bob left Helle with antiseptic.
Hello, Helle!
She groaned.
My name's Antiseptic.
I know, witch, said Helle.
Can I say,
strange
most
voice.
amount of sentences we've gone without
I know,
having a problem.
Scott's
I thought I'd try something new. People can infer what I may say, but I like this. It's like being read a proper storybook. It's ridiculous. Go on.
I know, witch, said Helle.
Don't call me witch.
She moaned.
I'm Antiseptic.
Okay.
Now let's go for a walkie, my sweetie niece.
Yes, okay. So off they trudged. In Japanese wood, Helle saw an old barn. Look, witch, it's an old barn, Helle said. But Antiseptic had disappeared.
Ha ha! Joke's over, she yelled. I know you're here.
She paused. Okay, you've scared me now, witch. I'll never call you witch again. She began to cry, and it started to rain. I know. I'll hide for shelter in that barn, she said to herself. She went in and saw a weird man. Yum, he said. A carrot for my glue pie. Tie her up, doo-dee-doo. He skipped around her with some string. I'm stuck, she told him. Oh, that's good. So now you cannot get away, you see. Dum-de-dum, he told her. I taste nice with salt, she said. Oh, I haven't got any of that. But I've got glue. Okay. Suddenly, Bob appeared and built a wall over the pot of boiling glue. Oh, but I was about to be eaten, she told Bob. Oh, sorry, said Bob. And he ate her. The end.
See, it's got a different feel, hasn't it?
Yeah.
When I don't say anything. It's like Stephen Fry reading like some Roald Dahl.
Do you have any comments for that? Oh,
There's nothing.
I think that's rubbish without you
That
saying
is!
it. You made it rubbish.
We've come
Scott.
this far and
100th episode, disappointing ending.
hashtag disappointed.
It's like, now you know how I felt at Age of Ultron.
Oh!
All the story, I took the charm out, and it's not as fun, is it? I'm joking. I love that. I'm a bit annoyed because I didn't get a chance to say I liked it. It became about me not enjoying it as much.
Oh.
It's a good film.
It's fine. You pointed out your points, and that's fine. And you pointed out his
We made
points.
some points. Yeah, we all made some points.
It's okay,
We all
Scott.
have 2 points.
We threw them in a pot.
We all have 2 points. Produce milk. Wait.
What?
What? Well, I mean,
Special milk.
no.
Oh.
Let us know what you think of Ultron. We will be going over your views next week, and because more of you will have seen it by that point, we've already had some great comments, so thank you for that. We'd like to thank everyone. At some point, somebody started listening to the podcast,
Yeah,
and
they
we went
did.
for 100 episodes, so that is really nice. It's lovely to have that.
And Robbie Polanco, thank you, at Robbie_Polanco. Super fan for your good work on the 100th episode, lads. And Sparky Wright. Grudgebeard 2.0 at Sparky Wright, the man of many names. Thank you, he said. Good work on making it to 100 episodes,
Stop
lads.
picking your favourites.
And thank you very much to HOM Podcast. Stephen the Smoker, you sent us a nice message that we played at the start of the show. So thank you very much. We're probably going to do more.
Yeah.
But Scott's all sad now.
Yes, he looks really forlorn and
This 100 episodes
deflated.
has taken an emotional, physical,
It's
and
really upset
spiritual
because
toll
everyone's
on me.
dissed DC movies and said Age of Ultron was good, although people haven't. It's only me who seems to like it.
and me.
I like Age
really
of
liked
Ultron.
it. Oh.
I like Age of Ultron.
I'm trolling.
Oh.
We all like it. It gets an average of 7.75.
Yeah.
The only Marvel film I don't like is For the Dark World.
You just want more.
That was terrible.
You just want more.
I just expect more.
You want more. So believe it or not, that was a positive review of Ultron.
I just feel better than that, so I just want more.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they need this to learn.
Building towards civil war.
It's good. At its worst day, it's really good.
Well, as I say, we will be revisiting this in a few weeks to do a spoilerific review. Let us know what you think of it, and thank you very much for listening. Please do continue to listen. You can find us on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, Podcast Land, YouTube, where I did watch the videos of you smashing dolls together.
I've not seen that one yet.
It's a bit weird.
We did a sex.
Oh.
A bit weird.
We did a lot of sex.
Okay.
Did you reenact some of the
I
movies?
had
after?
sex 118 times in this video. You should watch it.
Wow.
It's more than you have in.
My life, yeah. be that roughly around the 2 or 3 mark.
If you would like,
I'm so lonely.
if you would like to play that game, I believe you were
With
asking
me,
for
my number.
Okay.
If you want to play that game.
But yeah, do check out YouTube. You can subscribe. Please do leave a review if you enjoy us on anything you listen on. We're on Twitter. We are taking emails, and we had fingers then.
And send us your 3-word reviews on Twitter, please.
Cool. I think that's it. Do you have anything else to add?
No? Do you?
1 and 1.
7.